zoax.net. An unprovable axiom. The assumption that the Bible is God's Word is an unprovable axiom that I tend to find confirmed as I look at it. This quote comes from Donald Knuth's book, Things a Computer Scientist Rarely Talks About, and I agree with it. However, I think it is important to look precisely at what this means in the context of scientific inquiry. An axiom is defined as a self-evident truth. The earliest and best-known set of axioms come from Euclid's Elements. He actually called his statements postulates and common notions, and there are 10 of them in all. The 5 postulates deal with the ability to draw something geometrically, and the common notions are statements that apply to virtually any topic. With these 10 axioms, Euclid begins the Elements with a proof of the proposition to draw an equilateral triangle on a given line segment. So, he starts with a line segment, then he uses his axioms to say that he can draw a circle here and a circle here. The intersection of the circles defines a third point here. Finally, he draws 2 lines here and here to create the triangle. The actual proof is much more detailed, but I just want to convey the basic idea. The statements of the proof are clear, logical, and easy to follow. This is what people often expect with issues related to God. Many great thinkers have used axiomatic proofs and logical deduction to construct philosophical arguments about religious issues. The most famous statement of this type was given by the mathematician and Roman Catholic philosopher René Descartes, which is often quoted as, "I think, therefore I am." Over the millennia since Euclid, philosophical axiomatic arguments of this nature have been made on virtually every topic by many brilliant and learned men. There's a great deal that can be learned from this method, however, it cannot model the complexities of the real world around us. People often say that God's existence, or the Bible, is unprovable, much as Donald Knuth did. However, they tend to say it without the understanding that someone in mathematics, like Donald Knuth, has. Those who have studied mathematics know that it is not, in some sense, a science. Mathematics does not study anything. It is not a science like physics or chemistry. Mathematicians simply make up rules as Euclid did, and prove things from them. But the entire discipline is artificial. The nature of proof is to reason about things which are artificial. Mathematicians can prove things logically because they are not constrained by reality. On the other hand, the sciences like physics and chemistry, which do study natural phenomena, do not prove things. Instead, they find evidence to support their theories. The recent search for the Higgs boson is a good example. When scientists confirmed the existence of the Higgs boson, they did so with 5 sigma certainty. What does that mean? To someone who does not understand statistics, the whole matter must be confusing. Did they find the Higgs boson or not? The answer is no. However, they did find evidence for it. There is no proof, there is only evidence. When Newton proposed the theory of gravity, did he write a proof of it? No. There is no proof of gravity. Instead, gravity is an unprovable axiom that we tend to find confirmed as we look at it. If you look at the steps in the scientific method, you will find nothing that involves a proof. Things in science are not proven, they are inferred from observation. To take this a step further, consider that medical science tells us that the sun causes skin cancer. Will I get cancer if I go outside today? I probably will not. When will I get skin cancer from the sun? No one can tell me that. But still science asserts that the sun causes skin cancer. How do they know it? They find a correlation between exposure and skin cancer rates. Such correlations can be very difficult to determine conclusively because there are numerous factors at work in the world. Nevertheless, such conclusions are made in science despite the great uncertainties involved. We allow uncertainty in statistical methods in science. We never get nor expect a proof of a result. However, when we investigate religious matters, we expect just the opposite. For some reason, we think that the mind of God should be more simple and understandable than the most basic laws of nature. Now imagine someone walking outside once and saying that the fact that he did not get skin cancer is proof that the sun does not cause it. That would be considered unscientific. Yet such arguments are often made against the existence of God. For example, a man prays for something, and he doesn't get it. He despairs and says God does not care or does not exist. Tragedies occur, and people ask how God could allow evil in the world. They conclude that God must not exist. This is a faulty sort of proof by contradiction based on unfounded expectations of God. We frequently employ statistical methods and allow uncertainty in science, but we do not allow them in religious matters. Einstein famously stated, in reference to quantum theory, that, quote, God doesn't play dice with the world, but what if he does? In his book, Donald Knuth observes that many of the best computer algorithms make effective use of randomization. It makes perfect sense, he concludes, that God should play dice. Our most powerful mathematical analysis methods are statistical. Until recent times, science has lacked the tools to grapple with the world's randomness and complexity, and philosophers were forced to ignore or oversimplify such questions. However, I feel that we are now at the point where such questions can get a stronger scientific analysis. So that is the approach that I am taking in this series. I plan to explain scientific methods and how they apply to matters of faith. Having spent most of my life as an atheist, my knowledge of theology is severely limited. Therefore, I will largely avoid matters of theology. For theology, I will refer you to Pope Benedict XVI, a brilliant, prolific writer who has spent his life professing the unity of faith and reason.